Collinsworth with Dr. John Giannini. The last time that these two teams played, Dr. John, it was an extremely close game. So I'm curious about the mental side of this one. How mentally do you view the rematch?
So let's recap that rematch. Davidson was up by 13 with 6 minutes left. They're up with 4 seconds left till Robbie Avila breaks their heart. So Davidson's very hungry, and they're confident that they could beat this higher-seeded St. Louis team.
You mentioned Avila, Robbie Avila. He comes over, Indiana State, with his head coach as well, and Coach Schertz. What do you make of his game? It's unique.
Well, let's start with among every center in America at 6'10". He makes more threes per game. You see one right there. He gets more assists per game than any other center in the country. So he is highly skilled, and wisely Coach Schertz has the offense revolve around Avila. He'll touch the ball every time because of his passing and scoring abilities.
And we have phenomenal big men on both sides. It felt like Reed Bailey touched the basketball every possession when we saw him yesterday. How about the battle of the bigs in Bailey?
We have a dream matchup.
We do.
The closest thing to Robbie Avila in the country is actually Reed Bailey in this game. Reed Bailey leads the A-10 in scoring. And in conference games, his assist total was even higher than Avila. So these 6'10 guys can shoot it. They can pass it. They will touch the ball every time down the court because of their decision-making and skill level. We are in for a treat watching two excellent teams and two of the best big men in the NCAA.
So meet the coaches. Matt McKillop took over for the legendary Bob McKillop. And Matt now in his 3rd year at Davidson. Yesterday put him 1 game above 500, so he is a winner. And Josh Schertz on the other side. 1st year coming over from St. Louis, 17th year overall as a head coach, winning an incredible 78% of his games overall as a head man. There's Reed Bailey set to jump it up with Robbie Avila.
Watch this right away. Bailey and Avila will not guard each other. They don't want to put that defensive burden on either big guy, and they want to put some more quickness on the 6'10 players. So let's see whose ball it is here to start here, Jack.
Well, I know who got a hand on it. It was Reed Bailey, but he shot it straight out of bounds.
So it will be Hunter Adam at 6'7" on this 6'10 Avila, and I like that because Adam's really tough and he knows how to use his quickness to front. If Avila gets the ball down low, they're going to stop him going middle, force him into a baseline trap.
Swope to Jimerson, back to Swope. Avila gets his first touch. Johnson wants a long 3, left it short, and the rebound, an easy one for Bobby Durkin.
Surprised Johnson took that tough of a shot because his shooting percentages are through the roof. He's one of the most elite, what you would call role player, but a star role player in America. Surprised he would take that quick shot.
Reed Bailey kicks.
So this inning
gives,
it's Anya on Bailey, not Avila, trying to avoid the head-to-head.
Coachera patiently in the post. Can't get the finish. Avila comes down with the board. Now this take by Swope. Scooped up by the big man in Reed Bailey.
Swope missed that, but he really had 23 last time in this outing because there's no one quite on Davidson's roster with Swope's foot speed.
Coachera to Bailey, and he will just take his time once he gets the basketball. Takes it anywhere he wants it and puts it home.
So St. Louis does not want to double team Bailey out of respect for his passing, whereas Davidson will double team Avila.
Jimerson knocked down. Something about having Jimerson in your name. Jimmer in college hoops just means you're a shooter.
All-time leading three-point shooter in A-10 history. Here's all he's done the last couple weeks. 33 against Loyola, 35 against Duquesne, 25 at Dayton. Not bad.
Great pass, better catch down low by Bailey, but couldn't get the finish. Look at this pass. Sneaking through, Swope connects with Jimerson for 2.
Might be the easiest basket of Jimerson's career because people chase him. In transition, he gets an easy one.
Bailey to Bobby. And Durkin with his back to the basket. Turnaround from Durkin, left it short.
He had a huge size advantage against Swope. I don't think he needed to fade on that shot.
Swope to Avila. Avila takes his time. Now he's there to set a screen and roll. Back to Swope. He's double. Now Swope a corner three. Yes, sir.
So Jimerson is one of the top three-point shooters in college basketball history. Avila is the most skilled big man, but the matchup that Davidson doesn't have a great answer for is Swope because of his foot speed and shooting range. If you come up on him as a shooter, he could go by you. If you give him any room, he could shoot it. And Swope's a problem for Davidson.
Coachera to Bailey. Back to Coachera. And Coachera an air ball. The St. Louis band has let him know about it.
So right here, nice action, handoff, and Bailey just giving a little bit of room at 6'10" against the 5'10" Swope because of his quickness, and that room's all Swope needs.
So the numbers for Isaiah Swope on the season, top 10 in the A-10 and all those categories.
So Swope, Avila, Jimerson are as big a three as you can imagine. 16 points plus each.
Avila blocked away by Hunter Adam, who was chasing it down from behind.
We've talked about Adam would do a good job on Avila, but going back to that, this is the only trio in college basketball that averages over 16 points a game. And then they complement that with the defense of Johnson and Anya. And it's an excellent formula for the Billikens. But this big three is extraordinarily in their productivity together.
Durkin picks up the switch defensively. Adam picks up the rebound. Coachera. Joseph.
So Avila will always be on whoever they deem is the weakest shooter for Davidson.
Joseph for three. Left that short.
And they dare Joseph. And he does
Jefferson, a rebound. And now trying to turn that into offense. And Anya's foul. So a good start for St. Louis. 6-point lead over Davidson, who picked up a win yesterday.
How many subscriptions do you have?
Probably just Netflix and Spotify.
All right, it's saying you have 13 subscriptions, which is costing you around $270.
Throughout this A-10 tournament, but this has not been the norm for them. They wore suits and ties all season long, but head coach Matt McKillop drew back to their time at the Battle of Atlantis earlier this season where they were wearing the polos, and he felt that was a time where they played some of their best basketball. They went out and played without a care in the world. So he decided to go back to the polos. He said in the most recent games to end the season, there were a lot of close games where it was tough to maintain our confidence. But after yesterday's win against Richmond, he said our guys have more of a pop in their step. So sometimes whatever it takes for motivation in March. For Matt McKillop right now, it's the polo shirts.
Well, Kim, if you got a lucky polo, you might as well rock it right now.
But I love the psychology of that and how coaches think of everything. And he's thinking, I want my team to be relaxed in the conference tournament, so I want to dress more relaxed. It makes sense to me.
Durkin to Coachera to Manny Joseph. Here's Bailey. Bailey to Coachera. These two play terrific two-man basketball. Coachera, the crossover, lost the handles. And it's stolen away by Kobe Johnson.
And there's the two star role players that I love. Johnson with the great defense, Anya with the ball handling. These guys have great assist to turnovers, shooting percentages, defenders, and
Swope to the left hand.
There's that matchup I've been talking about that there's just no one as quick as that for Davidson. And whenever you're the quickest player on the floor, you're going to be a problem for the other team.
Coachera had 22 yesterday. Bailey had 25. It really was the vast majority of the offense came from those two. LAPUT had 11 as well coming off the bench as they won 69-65 over Richmond. A miss here, a battle for the rebound, and eventually it's secured by Avila.
Anya's a good matchup against Bailey because of his strength and quickness. Bailey's super quick.
Off the foot of Swope. Tried to get it to his teammate, could not, and it was stolen away by Durkin. Davidson just 1 of 7 from the field, make it 1 of 8. because they can't hit another three. That was Joseph. Avila to the rim. And Robbie with a flex.
You don't see this every day. A 6'10" guy that doesn't set the screen on the pick and roll, but he's the guard on the pick and roll. It works for Avila.
Little 10-point lead for St. Louis. Avila said, "You're not going to defend me. Bye-bye." So the big three, Dr. John, for St. Louis. Avila, just saw him take it to the rack. Swope and Jemerson as well. How about those numbers?
These are historic players. We said Gibson, Jemerson, the leading three-point shooter in A10 history. Robbie Avila, arguably the most skilled big man, most threes and assists per game of any center in the country. And then Swope, we see him already the quickest player in this game. But I love Johnson and Avila. They are star role players. Look at Anya's defense on Bailey. These guys don't turn it over. They shoot a high percentage. And that's a rare trap after a timeout. You want to mix up your defenses against really good players so they don't know what's coming.
The crossover by Swope, and he is fouled at the rim. Good hands on the opposite end of the court by Robbie Avila to come up with the steal so they could run.
So Davidson's looking for an answer for Swope. Manny Joseph, the freshman, is an extraordinary defender at 6'7", can guard anyone. They tried him on Swope, but their defense, their offense bogged down a little bit with Joseph in. He missed a couple threes, and their offense is struggling right now with only 2 points. But the question remains, who can guard Swope off the dribble? St. Louis has this offense that everyone likes to study because it's so efficient, but sometimes you just got to get the ball to a fast guy and let him go.
Swope, a terrific shooter. He's hit 100 threes during a season in his career. 91 threes made this season, and this is a loose basketball that's scooped up. Trying to get it to Bailey. Defense swarms, and Bailey's having a tough time on the catch. They're doubling him. He didn't see much double team yesterday, so a different defensive philosophy being put on by St. Louis.
They kind of don't want to double team him, but what's happening is we see Avila missing a three. Avila is camping out on the lane. Whoever he guards, he's really not guarding him. So it looks like a double team, but Avila is just naturally going to be clogging up the lane whenever Bailey has it because he's not guarding outside.
Coach Shara to Bobby Buckets. Bobby Durkin knocked down.
That's a fade screen, and because Avila's back in the paint, he can't help on that screen. They might want to go back.
Avila tried to sneak a pass through, bounce right back to him, and he puts it down.
Some players have the gift of being in the right place at the right time. Avila did nothing special, but right place, right time. But it seems to happen that way all the time with him. Unbelievable feel for the game.
He makes basketball look easy.
He does.
How does he do that?
It's really processing, and Reed Bailey has a lot of the same stuff. You hear about it, you're a football guy. When the game slows down, the game's very slow for Robbie Avila. He sees everything happening, and even before it happens.
So Coach Shara was fouled. He'll head to the free throw line. 15-4 start. St. Louis is rolling, and Davidson needs to get themselves in gear. Call goes against Kobe Johnson. And checking into the game is Ari McCautry.
And he is a rising star in the A10. Keep an eye on him defensively and offensively. He's emerging. See, now they have Avila on a guard. We'll put because they want to win. He'll camp out, head right under the basket, clogging everything up.
Bailey foul. I saw the ref say too much. A little too much contact and a whistle. It's been hard defense put on Reed Bailey. Coach Shara took a glance at Bailey and now see if Durkin wants to get in his direction. Instead, he gets it to LAPUT, and he can't get a shot up into the air.
Recognition. They tried to cut on Avila. He recognized it. And, you know, sometimes you have foot speed, which Avila will tell you he's not great at, but then you have mental speed.
Avila rolling to the basket. Reed Bailey telling his teammates where to go. Durkin comes to get it. LAPUT wants a three. LAPUT it down.
Like that very much.
The lead is 10. Anya to the rim. Anya for two.
Davidson helping on handoffs and ball screens, but then surprisingly to me, because they're normally very good at it, not protecting the rim on rolls.
Reed Bailey, too much space.
And if you asked me yesterday, Jack, what makes Bailey so good? He is as quick off the dribble at 6'10" as anyone you could imagine. He gets fouled more than anyone in the A-10 because it's hard to stay in front of him.
He moves like he's 6'5".
Yes.
No whistle here, and LAPUT comes down with him. Zach LAPUT bring it up the court as he calls for help.
I'm going to say something that might sound crazy. Swope is the quickest player in the game at 5'10". Bailey might be the second quickest at 6'10". In fact, I think I might be right.
Interesting. Really interesting take. A whistle here. So you know Robbie, one of the kings of college hoops. Robbie with a screen, Robbie to the rack. Good start for Avila.
Sorry, honey, it's a
Only one will become a champion. Scan the QR code for ticket packages and seating options, or visit Atlantic10.com/tickets, or any A10 school box office.
The 15 seed Fordham, the 7 seed George Washington, the A10 men's conference tournament on USA. Don't miss the first round. Fordham faces George Washington next on USA. So the big three, you mentioned them, of St. Louis. Avila with 6, Swope with 6, and Jemerson with 5. It's a good start.
And that's one of the things about playing against St. Louis. You know exactly what these players' roles are. They have great role definition, but if you could lock in on the top 3 and kind of sag off the others, that's the formula for beating them. I would say that Davidson's a good matchup for St. Louis, in spite of how close that last game was, because does Davidson have the athletic defenders to chase those big 3 around? Because that's what you really need to do, you know, the best possible job against them. I think actually they match up well against Avila, but you know, Swope and Jemerson, you got to put in a lot of miles chasing those guys around.
So Blooms over to Durkin. Bailey calling for the basketball. What else is new? Bailey, couple hard dribbles and can't get the shot.
And McCautry, the freshman, is guarding him now. He's only 6'5", but very long. And as I said, he is a rising A-10 star. He hasn't played as much as you would think this year. And there's an elevator screen.
Jemerson can't hit. And Roberts Blooms the board.
Elevator screen is when the player goes between 2 teammates, like the closing doors of an elevator, and they got the shot, just didn't make it.
Very interesting. Durkin comes to get it. Durkin, the pull-up. I mean, that's why you call him Bobby Buckets. The confidence.
That nickname goes way back for him. He's one of the top 3-point shooters in the A-10, and that one was not an easy shot. I'm really impressed in this game with St. Louis's defense. They don't have great defensive personnel, but sagging Avila off and having the other guys chase people around is working.
Hard drive to the basket. That is the freshman, Amari McCautry, showing why people are so excited about him. Cochera, the defender, falls down. Easy rebound, easier putback for Zach LAPUT. Jemerson off the roll, bucket.
You said it, off the move. Jemerson does not get many catch-and-shoot shots. This guy, not only does he play a lot of minutes, he puts in a lot of mileage. He runs all over looking for shots, and there's your boy.
Bobby's rolling.
Mr. Buckets. It's Mr. Buckets to you, Jack.
He pulls those mid-range shots with such confidence, and he just always seems to hit. He got rolling later in yesterday's game, and that heat has carried over as this an air ball. And Davidson's going to get the ball right back.
Jack Collingsworth's favorite nickname, Bobby Buckets, with the step back, shooting over Avila. And he's really important. It's, you only have so many guys on any team that are capable of double figures or 20-point games. And for those guys, for Davidson, it's obviously Bailey, the leading scorer in the league, then Durkin and Cochera. Like you really need at least 2 of those guys to have really good games, because, like I said, a lot of guys just aren't 20-point scorers.
Lockney gives it up to the hot hand of Durkin. Blooms drops it, gets it back. Blooms for 3. No go. McCottry the board. Now McCottry able to keep the handles. Gives it up with a no look, but no look and out of bounds. So the lead under 10 as we are under 8. Davidson starting to get themselves in gear.
I was paying for my ex's meal.
2019-2020 season that was disrupted by COVID, and now he is the 2nd all-time leading scorer in A-10 history with almost 2,400 points entering today. And I loved a quote from him in a recent St. Louis Post-Dispatch article. He said, "I really came in to get an education and play some basketball. And now it's like most guys are coming in to make money, and that's what drives their decision. And for me, that is the exact opposite. So I have had a unique experience from that." So it's going to be interesting to see where he goes from here. He has an MBA among other degrees from St. Louis, and he's noted just how important his family is to him. His parents, Jennifer and Jason, are in attendance. His grandma, his girlfriend, Abby, they are all here to support him as well, Jack.
Yeah, Kevin, he just went off last game. As Durkin misses, Adam puts it back. 35 points coming into the tournament. He finished the year on a mission. 33 points, 23, 35 points his last 3 games, and he was 20 of 40 from 3 over that stretch. He leads all scorers to start this one. And a foul as the freshman McCottry is going to work. And Jefferson's family in attendance, and there they are. A little smile in the middle as they're enjoying this start from St. Louis.
Just made the Atlantic 10 all-academic team, and he will be on an NBA Summer League team. In college, he has to shoot the ball off the move. No one's going to leave him open at the next level. Playing with some other star-level players, like he could be a spot-up shooter, and in that role, he could be lethal. And he's bigger and more athletic than you think. He gets to the free throw line, so he's going to use his education, but he's got a lot of basketball left.
6'5", 215 as he's working hard to get a jump shot here, and he traveled. And that was the 2nd foul on Roberts Blooms of Davidson.
Three freshmen in the game right now. The whole freshman recruiting class. McCottry, the Swiss Army knife, Warlick, who's comes from a 2-time Oklahoma State high school championship team, and Pickar, a big guy who could block shots and shoot threes.
Stolen away by Jemerson, and Jemerson is tied up for a jump ball. How about the defense? Blooms is fired up, and he's flexing his muscles. It looked like Jemerson was headed for a layup. No, sir.
And Blooms is an exciting freshman. Playing for Latvia, he led a FIBA Europe under 18 tournament in scoring. They were thrilled to get him, and he's coming out late in his freshman year. Look for him to have a heck of a career at Davidson. Again, more known for his scoring and shooting, but they're showing that he's picking up on the defensive emphasis of Coach McKillop.
LAPUT will take a seat, and you also have Isaiah Swope check back into the game for St. Louis. Davidson chipping away at this early lead that St. Louis has built.
Smaller, quicker McCottry, the freshman, on the leading scorer in the league, Bailey.
And McCottry poked it as back tip. 3-point opportunity in the air, that's short. And rebound brought down by Kobe Johnson.
They play off someone with Avila, but they haven't hurt him yet.
Oh, look at Swope go to the rim.
Quickest player in the game.
Reminiscent of Jackie Johnson. Yeah, we saw on this court yesterday. Blooms with it. Ooh, Nice smooth stroke. Mike Lockney gets himself going.
So they're sagging off Avila, but his man should screen because Avila is never in position to switch or help because he's helping in the lane.
Swope for three. Got it. This building's heating up. He has 11.
Davidson just doesn't have a good matchup for Swope. Yet Swope is a good matchup for Durkin because Durkin's a shooter and he just chases him.
Lockney, pull up, bottoms.
Second example of Robbie Avila's man getting a screen assist. Davidson has figured out, okay, he's playing off Joseph, he's playing off Adam, and they're missing shots. So don't have him keep shooting him, have him screen and get other people open where Avila won't switch or help.
McCautry kicks. Avila can't hit. Offensive rebound. Warlick came down with it. He took the contact.
Here's your darned if you do, darned if you don't. There's Swope's quickness. And not a good matchup for Davidson. And then you try to give him some space, and he'll take that space and make a three. Nice fade screen on that, though. Both coaches, great job of utilizing screeners to get people open.
Roberts blooms into the game to provide that energy. He picked up his third foul and will take a seat. McCautry to the rim.
So McCautry's a wing, but because of injuries at St. Louis, and they've been injured, he's been the point guard on the scout team every day, and it's made him so much of a better player because he's picked up his off-the-dribble game. But for a freshman at 6'5" to be guarding the 6'10" Bailey now is unbelievable.
Is that an intentional move from the coaching staff?
100%.
Smart move. Turnover for Davidson. That's 6 of them.
They get that Bailey's strength is not his size, but his quickness. So they want to have quickness on him and have Robbie help in the paint.
The two stars matched up on each other. Avila with a shot, and that was well off the mark. He's shaking his head on the way back down the court. Counter coach Shera over to Lockney, who just knocked down a triple. Durkin back to Lockney. Inside it goes. Reed Bailey is fouled. He was thinking about an and one. He'll head to the free throw line.
So the difference, two differences there. Number one, because they've been getting open shots and Avila not helping on switches, on screens or switching. Avila came out of the paint that time to help out. And then the other thing that was different on that play is Bailey caught the ball in front of the rim. If they could get the ball to Bailey deeper, he can have a lot of success in this game. Against these quicker slew defenders, he's not going to have as much success as he usually does driving, but he can still shoot over them if they could just get him the ball close enough to the basket.
That was the first foul on Amari McCautry, and he'll take a seat as Bailey hits the free throw. Davidson 11-6 at home this year, 4-7 on the road. They finished the year 17-15 before winning their first round matchup. Jemerson tries a three. That's off the mark. And Reed Bailey bring it down the court himself.
Avila is starting to extend defensively now.
You already know Reed Bailey's going to attack. Off the glass, can't hit. Avila the board. That's 5 of them for Avila.
Anya and McCautry are good matchups for Bailey because the quickness and length. They make it tough on him.
Avila, great pass to Jemerson. Can't connect on the layup, and Reed Bailey wants to run.
Look at that handle at 6'10". Look at that.
Bailey, the physical move, gets it back to the strong hand. Wow.
Are you kidding me?
He can do it all, Doc.
6'10", coast to coast, dribble into a post move. Tremendous just speed and skill at 6'10".
8 points for Bailey as Davidson clawing their way back into it.
Remember, who can guard Swope? They're going back to Joseph's, giving him another chance. 6'7", terrific freshman defender.
Look at LAPUT playing defense on Avila. A pump fake and a knockdown from Gibson Jemerson.
Shot fake, put it up with the defender trying to make a second effort. Jemerson's a special, historic, accomplished shooter.
Lockney to Bailey. Bailey cross court. Joseph's open three.
Both these big guys just got great looks for their team through skip passes, dissecting the help defense. Avila and Bailey, terrific, both at that as passers.
Avila gives to Jimerson. Back to Avila.
With a left-handed touch. And Avila is a great screener because if you help off him, he's a pretty good scorer and a pretty good decision maker. I would have Avila screen as much as possible. There's a pick and roll for a 6'10 guy. We've seen that twice.
Nice back tip by Avila. Avila with 8 points and Jimerson with 11 to go along with Swope's 11.
6'10", coast to coast, behind the back, spin, finish. Not too shabby. Then the other big man set a screen, get open. That's hard to figure out if you got to play against it. Good job, Avila.
You founded your kayak company because you love the ocean, not spreadsheets.
The 2025 Men's Big East Basketball Tournament. Don't miss a quarterfinal doubleheader. That is ridiculous. Only on Peacock.
And coming up on the U.S. Bank Halftime Report, Ahmed Fareed, Jordan Cornette, and Matt McCall break down this first half. The Big East tournament going on as well, and more from all the conference tournaments they will discuss in just a couple of minutes. The A10 team, the all A10 team. We were checking this out, just released not long ago. What goes through your mind looking at that group of 6?
Well, Reed Bailey, not only first team all-conference, but also voted most improved, going from 11 points a game last year to almost 20 points a game this year. In a situation where everyone knew they had to stop him and couldn't, and also one of the top passing big men in the country. And Jimerson has what I would call gravity. Because of his shooting, you can't leave him open. So now it messes up all of your defensive help principles. And, of course, not only a great year for Jimerson, but Kim mentioned it, what an unbelievable career as well.
Inbound pass goes to Reed Bailey. Bailey kicks it to Kochera, and Kochera rattles home a 3.
Kochera's been playing terrific. He had 25 in the first matchup between these teams. He had 25 yesterday. No, he's had 25 yesterday, 22 in the last matchup.
To the rim goes Jimerson. He lost his footing, and he coughed up the basketball. Durkin to LAPUT. Kochera calling for the Rocket, gets it. Kochera with his back to the basket, taking his time. Kochera can't get the shot.
Great shot. Kochera loves posting up smaller guards. We saw yesterday he feasted on that.
Avila gives. Jimerson had a look. One more pass, and that's well short. Kobe Johnson can't find his shot. Avila has not hit a 3 yet. He's 4 of 8 from the field, 0 for 3 from deep, while Jimerson is 3 of 6 from downtown.
Avila knows he rushed one of those, but if he's open, he won't hesitate.
And McCautry checks back in for St. Louis, who has been defending well when he is on Reed Bailey.
There's that matchup again. Keep Avila out of foul trouble. Let Avila clog up the lane a bit.
Durkin kicks. Lock name drives. LAPUT finishes.
That did not just happen. That was a scripted play by Coach McKillop. You penetrate middle, you draw help, and the corner man, instead of waiting for a 3, he cuts while his man steps up the lane. Nice, crafty, left-handed reverse layup as well by LAPUT. Play that we just saw there, and then they figured out what to do against Avila sagging, using his man as a screener as opposed to trying to force that person to score because he's so open. Let that person screen, knowing that they'll get someone open because Avila being sagged so far isn't going to help her switch. And so those adjustments by Davidson have gotten them right back in the game.
Crossover and then stolen away. Zach LAPUT put a hand in and picked the pocket.
Gap help between you and your man. Don't give Swope enough room to drive. Just have your hand right there. He'll dribble the ball right into it.
And the Wildcats make this a one-possession game. Bailey tries to go to the rim. Loose basketball. McCottry wants to run with it. He lost it. Now Bobby Durkin comes up with a steal.
This is the first time we saw Avila guarding Bailey and team defense. They switch back, though. He says, McCottry, you can have him.
Cochera to Durkin, back to Cochera. Cochera headed toward the basket, thought he was fouled. He was not. Avila a heave. And it came right back at him. 36-31. 5-point advantage for St. Louis, but if you're Davidson, you're feeling pretty good heading into the locker room, I would think.
I agree. They're confident based on how close they played the last time, and the adjustments they've made have gotten the Wildcats back in the game. They'll come out, as you said, with good expectations.
St. Louis had a 17-4 lead before a Davidson run, and let's check in with Kim.
Really threw them off. Then they started to use that weaker shooter as a screener. They got people open, a couple nice set plays, and Reed Bailey realized, hey, half court's going to be tough, but I could do things in transition or if I post up at the front of the rim. So they figured things out offensively. They still got to figure out how they could stay with Swope, though.
They do.
That's a problem because he's really quick and they don't have a good matchup.
Swope has 11, as well as Jimerson with 11. Both those guys are shooting 50% from 3. Jimerson 3 of 6. Swope 2 of 4 from deep. You mentioned Avila, 8 points for him, 7 rebounds, but he's 0 of 3 from three-point land. And let's check in with Kim.
Thanks, Jack. I just caught up with Coach McKillop. I asked him what was different about those last couple minutes. He said offensively, he thinks they really just settled down. They started moving the ball side to side, getting multiple people involved in different actions, and that allowed them to create some space for drives and shooters. And then I asked him, what are the priorities defensively against this big three in scoring? Like Doc said, he thinks they've done a pretty good job on Avila. They do want to slow down Swopes in transition, and then they said they have been a step behind on the screens for Jimerson. So much better job. They need to be quicker at reading off of those screens.
Copy that, Kim. Jimerson pass it in to start half number 2. Isaiah Swope with the ball, gives it up, gets it right back. Avila to the rim, back outside. Jimerson can't handle it.
It's really good basketball. I mean, I hate to sound like a Little League baseball coach, but I think Jimerson just took his eye off the ball, so to speak. Because the pass was low, but it was actually a really good pass by Avila. Jimerson was wide open, even though it wasn't on target.
Reed Bailey, a loose pass. Great job by Bobby Durkin to come to the basketball and draw that contact. Bailey, now with 15 on the shot clock, swing it over to Bobby Durkin. Locknane with 10 to shoot. One more pass. Now 5 to shoot. Durkin. Bobby for 3, can't hit it. Offensive rebound, put back up and blocked away. That was Hunter Adam who had his shot blocked. Avila, a lob pass, and that is deflected in Davidson basketball. So all defense this first minute of half number 2. Durkin with it, Locknane off the screen, clears space for Bailey. Great drive and a goaltend. Connor Cochera to the rim.
That was an isolation play, and Davidson does very little of it. Usually when they reverse the ball, they're setting stagger screens, but that time they just all hold, and that is a catch and rip play for Cochera.
Durkin defending. Avila. Back to Jimerson. Avila headed toward the rim. Puts it up, and he is fouled by Adam.
You have to be really disciplined in those situations. And Adam just swung his arms down. Got to try to keep your arms straight up, defend with your chest, put your hands back, showing the officials you're not going to foul.
Hunter Adam has 2 fouls. Robbie just never seems to be in a hurry. He plays hoops at his pace.
So he has a great relationship with Coach Schultz. They tease each other. I remember when Avila had that ankle injury early in the season, which really got St. Louis off to a slow start. But he said, I don't think it'll bother him because it's definitely going to not make him any slower. So they tease each other that way. But he's not the most athletic. But being slow, I believe, helps him because it does slow down the game. And he constantly is reading the court, and he's very strong. So, yeah, he's slow, but he's smart and strong. It's a pretty good combination, and they work together.
And he's been a beast on the boards as well. Bailey scans, kicks. One more pass. Coachera can't hit Adam. He's been busy on the boards at half number 2. Out to Locknane. Locknane with spin to the right hand and a beautiful touch finish.
And high. So you use spins when you drive one way and your defender cuts you off, then you spin the opposite way. But it's a very skillful move. Well done by Locknane.
3-point game. Jemerson off a screen. Avila wanted the rock, can't get it, still calling for it. Now he does with a size advantage.
No middle, trap baseline side.
Robbie dishes. Swope with the handles. Step back for Swope. Can't hit. Rebound to Adam.
I love the defense and rebounding and energy of Adam. Like, you're not going to coach all prolific scorers, but you want good players, and Adam's a good player.
Locknane, he's feeling it.
He said it. He is feeling it. That spin move was something, and that was zero hesitation.
So Locknane ties it up at 38 apiece as we are under 17 minutes to play.
When you see a 29% three-point shooter shoot like, you know, they're a 50% shooter, that's mental.
Avila, one more pass, and shot won't go from Kobe Johnson. Davidson's only lead was 2-0 at the very beginning of the game. Can they get a lead here? Durkin, shot won't go. Avila, he thought about a 3, has not hit a 3 yet. Back to Kobe Johnson. Swope with the crossover. Swope with the shoulder. What a drive by Isaiah Swope.
You talk about his quickness. No great matchup for Davidson against Swope, but he was very close to getting a push-off offensive foul on that.
Coachera lost the basketball, and now a couple of St. Louis players hit the deck for it. Tied up for a jump ball, and possession will stay.
Locknane had the spin move, the 3 ball, and he's bringing the Wildcats back. Just down 2.
Your record label is taking off, but so is your sound engineer. You need to hire.
I need Indeed.
So all eyes on Scotty Scheffler as he is going to swing for a 3rd Players Championship in a row, something that no other PGA Tour golfer has ever accomplished. The Players Championship Saturday and Sunday on NBC and Peacock. Look at that golf course. My goodness. And Bob McKillop, of course, Papa, and he's watching on. He's been a little nervous. We've been checking in on him. Tell us about Bob McKillop. I know you know him well.
Coached against a lot of good coaches and a few great ones, and Bob McKillop might be one of the great ones. They have that saying that he could beat you with his players, or he could take yours and beat you with your own players. He's an innovator. We talked about running his offense one year, and one of my assistants started researching. He said, Coach, I read that Coach McKillop said it took him 17 years to get it just right. I don't think you're going to get this right in a few months. And I said, you know what? That's spot on. Also a relentless worker.
3-pointer, and that's left short by Durkin. Swope into the lane. Picks up his dribble. Avila Avila is doubled, and he threw it off the rim. Just rifled a pass directly off the rim and came right back at him.
That is Davidson's game plan when Avila gets it down low. Take away the middle. Don't let him see the floor. Make him spin into someone he doesn't see. Have the baseline help there. Perfectly executed by the Wildcats.
Bailey to LAPUT. Lockney looks for Bailey. Can't get it to him. LAPUT left wide open as a defender fell down.
So I've seen Davidson practice. Outstanding practices. Unbelievable teaching. Unbelievable intensity. What they've missed the last couple of years is elite level shooting. I'm not saying that this is an elite shooting team because it's not, but when this system has guys making shots, it's a problem to play against. The X's and O's, the movement is very hard to defend. At the end of the day, you still got to make shots.
And LAPUT is having a day. He has a couple of threes, and he's been good from the field as well. Coachera wants to run.
And he's another feel-good story. A Division II player who is excellent and All-American, and this year is his shot at D1.
Foul is called, but for LAPUT, four-year member of Bentley University. Average 18.4 points per game as a Falcon, and he shot about 50% from the field as well. So he's built for this. Reed Bailey picks up his second foul. Get it in for Lockney, who has had confidence this half. LAPUT over to Coachera. Durkin trying to come get it, can't get the ball. LAPUT with a move and a walk.
So we talk about Swope offensively, but he's a good matchup for Durkin. Durkin is a high-level shooter, can't leave him open. You need someone who could chase him, and Swope has the will and foot speed to chase Durkin all over the floor, and they really don't post Durkin, so Swope's size really isn't a disadvantage on that.
McCautry with the move, takes his time with the pivot foot, and he hits it.
And that's tremendous for a freshman. That was a dribble drive play designed specifically for McCautry to get downhill and finishes against Durkin, who's big and strong in his own right.
Three-point look, a pump fake, now a kick. Coachera, a better shot, can't hit. LAPUT gets it back. Offensive rebound for LAPUT, back to Coachera. Coachera with the drive. Some run put together by Davidson. This all began before halftime, and they have kept that momentum alive. And it has not been all Reed Bailey. So top shelf is the season average for LAPUT and Lockney. And today we still have 13:53, almost 14 minutes to play. And they're rolling.
This is what I imagine in that timeout. Obviously, Reed Bailey, first team all conference. A lot of Davidson goes through him. But as St. Louis is sagging off LAPUT, and as Swope is having a good game, I could hear that huddle. I could hear Coach McKillop telling LAPUT, like, listen, shoot the ball. If they're off you, shoot the ball. And if someone else does and no one's on you, crash the boards. I could see him telling Lockney, listen, Swope's going off, but you're way bigger and stronger. Go ahead and go at him. Because those two guys are playing with terrific confidence.
And you can feel it, the body language alone from Lockney and LAPUT, just the last handful of minutes, defensively and offensively. There's just a confidence about them. Avila.
No middle,
Bailey.
no middle baseline trap, and it's working. Again, no middle baseline trap.
Avila turns baseline, nowhere to go. Swope for three.
So the Davidson breakdown, when you do that trap, you got to leave the opposite side open, not a close pass, one pass away, and especially not with Swope. They left the wrong guy open. You're going to leave someone open, not Swope, not so close.
Swope has 16 points. Coachera for three. Coachera can't hit, another board for Avila.
I'd like to see another one of those rip plays where Coachera can have space and drive hard.
Avila sets a screen, wants the rock and gets it. Couple defenders there. Now he has to give it up. Swope coming for another three. Swope off the backboard into the hands of Bailey. Durkin with Swope on him. Over to Bailey. Durkin was cutting and a whistle. That's going to be the third on Swope.
Here's the game plan. No middle. Don't let him see who's open. Make him come back to the baseline. They did it once. Here's the second time. The problem is they left the wrong guy open. Make him make the skip pass. They might score off the skip pass, but usually the skip pass, because it's longer, it takes longer and you can recover, but you can't recover with a quick pass to a good shooter like to Swope like that.
So Isaiah Swope will take a seat with his third. He was arguing his case to Coach Schertz, saying, I'm all right, I can play with three. Coach disagreed, and they'll give him a quick break.
And that's confidence in McCoughtry, too, because now he feels like he's got a legit six-man.
Coach Schertz, he is so good at the post.
Yeah, he really is. An interesting thing, he drives right, but post-up light's going left. We mentioned this yesterday. He throws things with his right hand, but he swings clubs with his left.
McCoughtry with a good look. Can't get the original finish, and then Gibson, Jemerson able to get the two.
Most backdoor cuts nowadays come from the corner. Everyone's doing it. Get behind the defense, hide on the court when they can't see you cut.
Locknane to LAPUT. He's been the hot hand. He stays hot.
I really I guarantee you the Davidson coaching staff told him, Avila's playing off you. You're going to be open. Don't hesitate to shoot. I love the confidence given.
Tried to get it down low. It's stolen away. Tipped ahead. Falling to the ground is Mike Locknane. He thought he was hit. The refs will disagree. And Locknane still feels like he had himself a layup there. Look at LAPUT go.
Applebee's new Big Easy menu. Bringing the flavors of Bourbon Street.
13 points, 5 of 6 from the field, and he's 3 of 3 from deep. He's shooting at 31.6%, so there's 6 of 19 from 3, but he has 3 of those 6.
So not a great matchup defensively in this game for Robbie Avila, and they don't want him on Reed Bailey, who draws more fouls than anyone in the A-10. And LAPUT has been hurting that matchup, and he's been encouraged to do so.
Swope with the gas pedal down, maybe a little too far. The emphatic offensive foul.
Wow. And
that'll be his 4th on Swope.
For the one player in this game that really no one has a matchup for, and we mentioned he almost got one of those earlier when he did get a bucket. Now I wouldn't be surprised not to see Swope until under the 8-minute mark.
Well, I think that's why Coach Schertz was electing to sit him down with 3. Swope talked Coach into putting him back into the game, and now they'll pay the price as Coach Shera drives baseline. Coach Shera had it blocked away in possession. We'll stay here.
Remember I mentioned I love those rip plays for Coach Shera. That's another example, but McCoughtry defends nothing like a freshman with his length and foot speed. I mean, McCoughtry's guarded Avila in this, and I'm sorry, Bailey, he's guarded Coachera. He truly is a guard all 5 positions guy.
LAPUT, drive, dish. Back to LAPUT. LAPUT's on fire. He can't miss.
And that was off of movement. They put Avila onto Joseph, but they're schooled to circle behind the ball. Defenses try to stay in front of the ball, behind the ball. You could get a 3. Well schooled.
An answer on the other end. Gibson, Jemerson.
Jemerson loves handoff, sprinting, and then stopping behind the handoff and using it as a screen.
Coach Shera over to Bailey. LAPUT faces up. Gives to Bailey. Been a difficult matchup for Bailey, as this time he is fouled.
Who's open behind the ball? You see LAPUT circling behind the ball. They're throwing it backwards. On the other end, there's the handoff. And Jimerson goes from a sprint to stopping right behind Avila, using him as a screen. He's done that many hundreds of times in his St. Louis career.
And 3 fouls now on Anya. Anya defending once again. See if Bailey goes for number 4. Bailey, the spin. Can't get the shot, no whistle. Offensive rebound, back out to Coach Sherritt. Got to get it up. And Davidson held on too long for the shot clock violation.
St. Louis's defense will be fine without Swope, but offensively, that's definitely a loss. I'd expect to see more two-man games like we just saw between Avila and Jimerson, with either screening for the other or handoff action.
Bloom's got good minutes in the first half before he got himself into foul trouble. He has 3. Now he checks back into the game. Shot won't go. Offensive rebound brought down by Anya. Anya gets it back. Anya, great dish across and an and 1. McCautry, the true freshman, put it home.
St. Louis does such a good job when they catch the ball looking for the weak side cutter. First, there's the two-man game we predicted, then the great offensive rebound, and then look immediately looking towards that opposite corner because they're trained to cut from that corner. You can either get an open 3 or cut from that corner because your man's likely helping. If that's Jimerson, you stay and shoot it. If you're McCautry, you're a cutter. Again, it's understanding your role and what you're best at.
Can't get the free throw to go. Manny Joseph comes down with the board. Bailey to LAPUT. Asking Coach Sherritt to come get the ball, and he does. 10 to shoot. Coach Sherritt gives it up. Blooms for 3. Blooms can't hit. And rebound Avila. Avila wants a 3. Hasn't hit yet. He hits when it matters. 21, letting them know about it. 4 points, St. Louis lead. He has 13.
He missed a few. He knows he rushed 1, but if he's open, Avila's confident he will not hesitate to shoot that 3.
Bailey, he knows his squad needs a bucket badly. Double team comes, and double team has success as Bailey gets off a tough shot that won't go. St. Louis on an 8-0 run. Jimerson thought about a 3, instead gives it up for a better shot, and at the rim, McCautry is fouled. Good ball movement by St. Louis.
The most prolific shooting center in America does not lose his confidence just because he misses a few. And after rushing 1 early, his shot selection has been excellent, but the assist here, and he won't get credit for the assist because it's a foul, but Anya's passing. He is number 3 rebounder in the A-10. He has a tremendous assist-to-turnover ratio. He's not a good shooter, yet he shoots a high percentage because he only takes great shots. Johnson and Anya are not your everyday role players. They're elite role players. When you look at their shooting percentages, their assist-to-turnover, and their defensive abilities, that's Anya guarding the leading scorer in the league and doing a great job and getting assists on the other end.
For Avila, 13 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. A steal to go along with it. Been doing a little bit of everything, and he's been waiting on his 3-pointers to fall. Finally hit one. See if he takes another. Durkin thinking about a 3. Kobe Johnson with the ball. McCautry sets a screen for Avila. Instead, a float pass down low for a layup. Put down by Anya.
Elite role player.
A whistle and a Wildcats timeout.
Anya's got the mismatch, calls for the ball, and produces for the Billikens. His defense, the team, they're flowing.
I think we can.
This big three is recognized. They are all conference players, but it does not work without Anya. His defense, his passing, his shot selection. He's 2 for 2 because he only takes shots he can make. McCautry's defense against Reed Bailey. And then Johnson, he doesn't have a point, but 2 assists, 0 turnovers, and outstanding defense. The best role players I've seen this year are those 3, Anya, Johnson, and McCautry. It's the Belichick thing. We talk about be great in your role. On this team, everyone knows who the scorers are, everyone knows who the defenders are, and it works happily together.
So Davidson now in desperate need of a bucket. Bailey with the ball. Locknane comes to get it. Now Durkin. 12 on the shot clock. Bailey takes the dribble and goes. Three-pointer is open, and three-pointer is knocked down by Roberts Balloons.
You said they needed one, Jack. They came up with it, and it's the great passing of Bailey that gets Blooms open on the weak side.
And a foul on the dribble on McCautry as he was heading toward the basket.
There's the gravity of Bailey. When he drives, he brings multiple defenders. Now he has the decision-making to find Blooms, who's open on the weak side. Simple game. I'm excited for Blooms as a freshman, highly touted, coming out of Lafayette-led FIBA tournament and scoring this summer. Great recruit for Davidson, and his confidence is growing here later in the year.
And that call goes against Durkin. That was his first, and how about a travel as Davidson's going to get the ball right back.
Davidson does a great job of stopping the pick and roll with help and then rotating and helping at the rim.
And that is 13 turnovers now. Locknane to Adam. Durkin with a dangerous pass. Bloom somehow comes up with it. In traffic, coming back to the basketball, and he drew the foul.
Well, there was a good play and a great play on that. First, watch the deflection of Avila. We talked about how the game slows down for him. That's not as many helps, but then, like a receiver catching a tip ball from a D-back, Blooms keeps his concentration and saves the day for Davidson. That should have been a turnover if not for Blooms' effort and focus.
Bailey kicks, wide open three. Blooms is heating up.
It's a breakout game for Blooms, for sure.
And Blooms has been the juice on defense. Only reason he came out of the game in half number 1 was because he drew 3 fouls, and that sat him down. But since he's come back in half number 2, he has been the energy, and a foul on the ground on Avila.
The thought was Blooms would be playing professionally this year. And when Davidson heard that he'd be interested in going to college, they started to really pursue their international contacts, and boy, they're excited about him.
Bailey picks up his third as Davidson picks up a steal. Roberts Blooms picks it off and brings it down the court. Blooms coming to get it. Over to Locknane. Locknane baseline. Bailey thinking about a three. Bailey can't hit. Offensive rebound for Davidson. Hunter Adam with the offensive board. Blooms with a little push off, no whistle. Blooms kicks. Bailey. Locknane can't hit. And rebound to Jimerson. On the drive is Swope. Swope playing with 4 fouls. Johnson with too much space. Now Johnson picks up his dribble, kicks it back out. Avila, no.
So well defended by Davidson. Defended drives, cuts, contested shots.
Locknane to Bailey. Bailey kicks. Adam for 3. Adam swish. It's all these role players for the Wildcats who are coming up huge at half number 2.
They're taking on the dare. Whoever Avila is guarding, they know they could get a wide open 3.
A 9-0 Davidson run for a 2-point lead. And a foul is called away from the ball.
Yeah, that's the Hunter Adam. And Hunter Adams' eyes lit up as soon as he saw Avila was on him because he knew he'd be able to get a 3 off of it. And the question now for St. Louis is what to do in terms of Avila's matchup.
Roberts Blooms just picked up his 4th foul as we go to Kim.
Thanks, Jack. Well, those last 3 threes for Davidson were all assisted by Reed Bailey, and he was named the most improved player in this conference. His coaches said that is where he has grown the most, the way he is seeing the game and reading coverages. He averaged about 1.4 assists per game last year, averaging almost 4 per game this year. He has 4 right now.
Yeah, great eye, Kim. It's been a key to this 9-0 run. This is a swish from Isaiah Swope. So an answer. Right after Davidson took the lead, they take it right back. A 3-pointer won't go for Blooms. 61-60 St. Louis. Swope for 3. The lead is 4.
Swope is tremendously good at 3s off the dribble. He's as good, if not better, shooting a 3 off the dribble as the catch, and that's unusual.
22 points for Isaiah Swope.
Swope, he had 23 last time against Davidson. He's a Wildcat killer. No one quite as quick as him out there. He knows he's got the range for the 3 in the space. He's taking advantage.
Bel Air season finale, Friday at 11 on USA.
For 5 immersive worlds, 1 amazing theme park beyond anything you've experienced before. Explore the thrills of a Universal Epic Universe opening May 22nd, 2025 at Universal Orlando Resort. Lead changes at half number 1. We only had 1 lead change. That came very early on. Half number 2, there's been 8. The 3-point land has been heating up. Isaiah Swope been in and out of the lineup with foul trouble. Checked back in with 4, and he's on fire right now.
And Swope knows there's not a great matchup for him, and he's so good with deep shooting range and shooting off the dribble. He literally can kind of do whatever he wants. He could take that 3 that he just made, and if people press up, he can go by them. And like I said, this Davidson just doesn't have a great defender for Swope.
1-on-1 opportunity for Cochera, and he can cut this back to a 2-point game. Cochera hit them both, and he will be a key piece if Davidson's able to creep back and take a lead. Unquestionably one of the leaders in this lineup, been filling it up of late. Not quite the same scoring day to day as a foul defensively. Blooms was there. Blooms in foul trouble. That would be 5, and it is. Three in the first half for Blooms, 2 in the second half, and his day would be done. A good day it would be, even if he can't finish this game off. I love how they try to hang out on the court as if they don't know.
So I do think it's interesting over here. Matt McKillop is insisting that there was some kind of contact to Bloom's head. We saw him grabbing his jaw, so he has been persuasive enough to get a review.
So coach argues the case, gets a very quick review, which is not going to go the way of Davidson.
Right. And he did get the contact to the jaw area. And you see the encouragement over there by Coach McKillop. But the problem was the contact was caused by him.
It was. And Bloom's a couple of key three-pointers for his team. Get him back into it. And now he will send Isaiah Swope to the line as his day is done. Here comes LAPUT. And LAPUT will bring Hunter Adam out of the game.
Coach McKillop now subbing offense for defense, and look for him to put Adam back in for LAPUT when they have a defensive stoppage.
And Swope has scored the last 8 points for St. Louis. Bailey with the rock. Coach Shera over to get it. Now he's looking down low for Bailey. Two-man basketball. Bailey to the left hand. Bailey puts it up. Shot won't go. And a rebound. Anya.
Great shot. Great shot. Great execution.
4-point lead, trying to play add-on for St. Louis. Avila, cross-court pass. Jimerson hits it.
These great passing big men are largely great because they're great skip passers. And Jimerson's shot is unique. There's no dip. It's a flick of the wrist. He catches it and rises up without lowering the ball.
Coach Shera draws the foul. That's on Avila.
The elite skip pass. Now watch this catch. He doesn't dip. It's almost like he shoots it as soon as the ball hits his fingers. That's tens of thousands of reps over there. Most people, when they shoot the ball, they dip the ball a little bit. To not dip it, you know, that is elite. And when everyone knows you're a great shooter and runs at you, you got to get it off quick. And Jimerson's worked on that to become the A-10's all-time leading three-point shooter.
14 games on the season for him of 20 or more points, so he can straight fill it up as Coach Shera heads to the free throw line. Slick spot on the court, and they'll clean that up. And Reed Bailey is 0 of 4 this half, just 3 of 12 overall.
Great player, first team all-conference, leading scorer in the league. He's missed some that he easily could have made, but also Anya and McCautry are a problem with their length and quickness for anyone. They're good defensive matchups, high-level defenders. As I said, St. Louis has 3 great offensive players and 3 terrific defenders in McCautry, Johnson, and Anya.
Coach Shera, a 78% free throw shooter, hits them both. Been to the free throw line over 100 times on the season and connects. 69-64, under 3 minutes to play. Avila flashes for the basketball. Jimerson. He is just a problem. 22 points for Jimerson. Coach Shera trying to get a quick answer, and he lost the basketball.
That action for Jimerson's 3 is a staple in St. Louis's playbook. Watch, he gets a screen into a handoff. It's a lateral zoom, that action is called. And he needs separation, but between the screen and the handoff that becomes a screen, because after Avila tosses it to him, he blocks his defender, well designed.
Jimerson has hit 6 three-pointers. Davidson needs a bucket. Can't hit the 3. Jimerson the board. Swope with the basketball. They have numbers. It appears they'll slow it down, and they will. Swope gives it back. This is the biggest lead of the half. Lead is 8 as we're coming down to the 2-minute mark. Swope with the crossover. Gets it right back. Now he's going baseline. Swope the floater. Oh, my, what a move. And a timeout taken as St. Louis starting to pull away. Lead is 10.
Sometimes the game is as simple as making shots. There's the floater, but we've seen a couple late threes by Jimerson, a couple late threes by Swope. And sometimes it's just that simple. And small guys, they know they need the floater to get that over shot blockers. They don't want to go in amongst the trees.
For Swope. been shooting the lights out. 5 threes for Swope, 6 threes for Jimerson. Hard to beat anybody when their star players are shooting it like that.
And they're well defended. You saw how quick Jimerson had to get that shot off with the flick of a wrist. We saw how deep Swope's threes are off the dribble. These two teams have played their hearts out, both good defensively. No surprise with 3 all-conference players. Just Swope and Jimerson's shot-making ability have stood out in this game. Even while LAPUT, Lockmain, Cochera, a lot of Davidson players have made their own shots, but just not at the rate or timeliness of Jimerson and Swope.
And Swope got that 4th foul with 11:19 left. It was an offensive foul, and he's been able to hang around and play his best hoops with no fouls to give as Lockmain goes baseline.
This should be super patient here.
Swope to Johnson.
If you're Davidson, you don't want to foul at this point because you've already waited so long.
Durkin giving no space. Bailey with the foul. He tripped up Avila, and that'll be 4 fouls on Reed Bailey. And a 1-and-1. Good shooter to the line in Avila. 76% shooter. Made over 100 free throws on the season. Gets there often and has not missed from that spot today. And there's his first miss. Bailey with the board, and Bailey's going to bring it down himself. Cochera with space. Cochera gives it up last second. Lockmain, the reversal. So Davidson able to answer back. Now 74-68, trying to make a game of it here late.
A daily pill to drink less, or to quit drinking altogether. Text TV1 to 710-710 to learn more.
So Davidson just burned their final timeout. Davidson and St. Louis for the right to play Loyola Chicago at 2 p.m. Eastern time. Fordham, George Washington coming up next on USA. LaSalle and St. Joe's, 7:30 p.m. Also right here on USA as we're filling in the bracket, in particular for Friday. Should be coming your way on USA. 74-68, 117 to play. Davidson, a couple key buckets there to creep back into it, give themselves a chance.
Davidson's done a great job throughout this game. Right now, though, SLU is extending and conceding 2s. It doesn't look like they're just going to blatantly give up the 2, but they're not going to foul, and they're not going to give up 3s. So Davidson should do exactly what they're doing. Take the quick 2s and then get a quick steal or foul.
So Kobe Johnson will take it out. He can move.
Well, I love Joseph at the front of this press. He's a big-time defender.
Avila right there at the free throw line gets the catch and gives it back to Johnson.
Wow, really surprised they're not fouling.
Double team comes. Here's Swope. He's doubled. Kicks to the corner. And now there is a foul. Cochera got a piece. And it was McCautry who was fouled. McCautry is the right man to foul. Just a 55% free throw shooter. 16 of 29 on the season.
Don't know if they'll do it, but look for Durkin to give a handoff and then get a fade screen for a 3. It's Davidson's go-to when they want the 3, or they may take the quick 2.
As McCautry hits it.
St. Louis, though, is prepared for Davidson's favorite 3-point plays. Saw them go over it yesterday.
Amari, true to his percentage, goes 1 out of 2. Cochera with the board. Lockmain scanning the defense. LAPUT thought about a 3. LAPUT off the dribble, won't hit. St. Louis with the board, And that is McCoughtry, who will head back to the free throw line.
Nice shot fake, side dribble, and boy, that hit the rim 3 different times.
So 2 shots coming up for Amari McCoughtry, the true freshman from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So 1 out of 3 in this sequence.
If McCoughtry ever does become a consistent shooter, you're talking about a potential first-team all-conference player. But you gotta make baskets if that's how they keep scoring.
So 3 out of 7 from the free throw line on the day for McCoughtry. Bailey, the spin, Bailey. What a finish. Back to 6. St. Louis trying to get it in. Davidson out of timeouts. St. Louis, a couple more to burn, and they burn 1 there. So 1 timeout remaining for St. Louis.
So I talk about great role players. Johnson's taken the ball out of bounds. Such a critical role, taking the ball out of bounds of Swope. And on top of his quickness, he's got great shooting range and unusually good shooter off the dribble. This is just, Swope is a bad matchup for Davidson. He was the first game. He is this game. No way around it.
And Swope has Kochera on him as he flashes for the basketball, trying to sell a foul on LAPUT. Now he goes the other direction. He's all by himself, gives it up last second. McCoughtry for 2, and that is trouble for Davidson. Kochera knows he needs quick work, and he gets it.
McCoughtry almost got called for a reach on that. He needs to be way more disciplined with the lead late in the game.
They get it in, and a foul is called. They're going to get Manny Joseph with that call.
Davidson foul number 0, Manny Joseph, his second personal.
So 78-72, 26 seconds remain. The Wildcats going to need missed free throws to have a chance here. Gibson Jimerson to the line. He is a terrific shooter from anywhere. 82% from the free throw line. And he makes shooting a basketball just look easy.
Assuming St. Louis holds on here, they split this year with Loyola. Recently beat them by a large margin just by having an unconscious shooting night where everyone was raining threes. So that's going to be a terrific matchup. St. Louis is not very deep. You mentioned it, Jack, with these not deep teams like St. Bonaventure and St. Louis who have advanced, will depth catch up with them in the later rounds.
Kochera back to the basket. Kochera trying to get a very quick 2. Instead, it's a miss and a foul. And St. Louis starting to taste victory behind their bench. The St. Louis faithful to their feet.
We got Jimerson with 37 minutes, Avila 38, Swope 33, Anya 32. But the interesting thing, and we've talked about it with St. Bonaventure, these guys are used to it. They do it every game. Now the question is, regular season, you don't have to go back to back to back.
McCoughtry back to the free throw line. He has been the one that Davidson has tried to foul. Zach LAPUT, he's fired up on his way back over to the bench. And McCoughtry knocks it down. Adams straight back to Kochera. Kochera pull-up 3, and Kochera reigns it home with 11.3. So now 82-75, 9.5 to play. So St. Louis an 11-7 conference record on the season. They're 14-3 at home. Struggled a bit on the road. 4-8 on the road. Have not won a game at a neutral site. 0-2 on the season. 18-13 overall as their best shooter heads back to the free throw line in tournament time to try to put this game on ice.
This is a young Davidson team. A lot to look forward to.
Three-pointer won't go. And St. Louis. Davidson will win to start their tournament. That is as far as they will go. 83-75. St. Louis on top.
Coach Davidson will have everyone back next year outside of Coachera and LAPUT.